Welcome back to my channel. I'm Matt, the creator of Airbnb Uncovered.com and Airbnb Superhost. On this channel, I uncover some of the best kept hosting secrets, as well as share with you everything that I've learned after hosting over 3,000 guests. COVID-19 is on everyone's mind these days, and it's for good reason. It's a serious health concern, especially for our guests. It's pretty safe to say that things in the travel industry are going to get worse before they get better. So in this week's video, I'm going to go through some concrete actions that you can take to prepare yourself and protect your guests. This week's video is going to show you exactly what steps you can take today to protect your guests and yourself from infection, and also show you how to protect your business during this downturn. I'm going to state the obvious here. I'm not a doctor or a healthcare professional. In fact, before becoming a full-time Airbnb host almost 5 years ago, I was a marketer, and before that, a designated accountant. So today's video is advice for you as a host and not medical or public safety direction. Every Tuesday, I publish a new video. Just like this week's video, the topics I cover are all focused on helping new hosts avoid common mistakes and become super hosts in their first quarter of hosting. If you're new to hosting, please subscribe to my channel and click on the notification bell. If you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. So let's start with what we can do to try to minimize the economic downturn from COVID-19. The first thing to look at is our price. If the stock market is any indication, prices for non-essential items are dropping. I've lowered my prices for the next 60 days and have increased my usage of promotions available on Airbnb. These optional promotions, when they're available, are shown on the right side of your calendar. I've also gone in and lowered my summer high season prices. If guests are thinking about booking summer travel, then I don't want to be priced out of the market. At this point, my thinking is to secure as many bookings as possible to cover my costs. With lower prices, I'm hoping that I'll be able to appeal to travelers and that they'll click on my listings to learn more. Now the goal is to reassure worried travelers that their health is going to be taken care of during their stay. I've created a small 3.5 by 5 index card that outlines the extra precautions that I've taken to sanitize my home. While I normally do a very thorough cleaning between guests, I'm now taking additional steps of sanitizing commonly touched surfaces, so light switches, door handles, drawer pulls, the remotes, and the keys, as well as fully washing linens and towels. Normally, I would only change my duvet cover after every second or third guest. Now it's after every guest. I'm also supplying guests with hand sanitizers to be used during their stay, assuming supplies will last. I always washed my linens and towels with bleach, but if you're not doing that, I recommend that you start. To be honest, one of my worst nightmares is for one of my listings to be the source of infection for one of my guests. Once you or your cleaner are done the turnover, make sure to wash your hands for at least 20 seconds, even if you were wearing gloves the entire time. Since this card will be inside my listings, I need a way to communicate these extra precautions before the guest books. To do that, I've taken a picture of the card and am setting it as the second picture on my listing. This way, when a potential guest views my listings, they'll see it at the top of the page in the preview pictures, as well as when they scroll through my pictures. The template for the card is available for a free download from my website. I've simply used my home printer and some 3x5 cards. You can get these cards from almost any office supply store or from Amazon, and I'll link to both in the description below. I've laminated my cards and I recommend you do the same. The card is likely one of the first things a guest will pick up when they arrive, and they'll probably do so before they get a chance to wash their hands. You want the card to be in a format that is easy to sanitize. During this downturn, we also need to think strategically. If global travel is down, then where are our potential guests going to be coming from? The likely answer is from our local area. Well, I'm not a huge fan of hosting locals because often they're coming into the city to party. I am going to have to host more of them if my business is going to survive. And to minimize this risk, I'm asking even more questions, scheduling more time to do my turnovers, and relying on my party prevention technology that I'll explain in a future video that's coming up soon. I'm also being slightly more aggressive in converting whatever inquiries I get into confirmed reservations. This means making responding to my guests my absolute first priority, and then writing back almost instantly. I'm also making accommodations I wouldn't normally make. And another action you can take is to extend your nightly minimum stays to attract longer-term guests. We also need to give pause to ensuring our own health and the health of our cleaners. According to what I've read and seen on TV, which is probably the same thing that you've seen, washing your hands and not touching your face with dirty hands is the biggest actions you can take to keep yourself healthy. I think that given our cleaning work with guests from all around the world, we're at a bit of a higher risk. For this reason, I always wear disposable gloves while I'm cleaning, and I change them often. One of the first things I now do, after starting the laundry and the dishwasher, is my sanitation procedure. Wiping down door handles, light switches, and other commonly touched surfaces with Lysol wipes. I want to minimize the spread of any potential germs. I'm not wearing a mask, and I will not be. According to the Surgeon General of the United States, masks are an ineffective tool for healthy people to use to prevent transmission. And due to the short supply, the masks are desperately needed by healthcare professionals. What additional actions are you taking to maintain your hosting business during the COVID-19 pandemic? Leave it in the comments below and let's learn from each other. The last action I'm encouraging you to take is to stock up on key supplies for your Airbnb. Be sure you have lots of disinfecting wipes, paper towel, toilet paper, facial tissue, soap, bleach, and hand sanitizer. But I'm saying this with a grain of salt. As a community of responsible and reliable hosts, please don't go crazy. Purchase what you need to have a 3-month supply and then leave the rest for your community. While stockpiling can put your worries at ease, it does nothing if everyone around you can't protect themselves. Given the potential infection rates and the headlines on the news, it's natural for guests to want to cancel their stays and request a full refund. According to healthcare professionals, we need to take steps to prevent the spread of infection and to not overwhelm our hospitals. So in the spirit of looking out for each other, I recommend that you offer a refund to guests who are seeking to do just that by avoiding non-essential travel, if you can afford to do so. Unfortunately, the nasty part of this pandemic is going to be the economic consequences. Some of you will need to rely on revenues from existing bookings out of fear of not being able to secure replacement bookings. In this case, you can offer your guests a refund if your listing gets rebooked, or perhaps offer a partial refund, or in extreme cases, no refund at all if you really can't afford it. But in some cases, you're not going to get the choice, and that's because Airbnb just changed the extenuating circumstances policy. So for all reservations booked prior to March 14th and for bookings between March 14th and April 14th, full refunds will be granted, including the service fee. For guests and hosts in some parts of the world, Airbnb is mandating refunds outside of what I just mentioned. So if you have a guest traveling from one of these regions, they will be refunded. I'll link to the official list in the description below. Airbnb has also announced some changes to the ways that its fees are charged and refunded. For hosts who select a flexible refund policy, i.e. providing a full refund up to 24 hours before check-in, Airbnb will not be collecting its 3% host fee. They're also refunding the guest side of the service fee on all cancellations until June 1st, 2020. If you're curious about how Airbnb's fees work, I did a video on that a few weeks ago, and you can check it out by clicking on the little I in the top right-hand corner of this video. Another thing Airbnb is doing is creating the ability for guests to be able to search for listings based on refund policies. While I think all of these actions are helpful and provide guests with more choice and demonstrate a willingness to help, I'm still not in favor of a flexible cancellation policy, even if I can earn an additional 3%. As I mentioned earlier, my strategy to survive during this downturn is to secure as much revenue as possible. But I don't want these bookings to tie up my calendar and then be canceled at the last minute, leaving me unable to find a replacement guest and out the nightly revenue. I want bookings from travelers who are sure they're traveling. And to secure this, I'm leaving my cancellation policies on strict. Chances are, if your guest is selecting a listing with a flexible cancellation policy, they're unsure about their travel. They want options that feed this uncertainty, and being able to cancel with a full refund up to 24 hours in advance provides this. Additionally, it will take a lot of additional bookings with an extra 3% to make up for just one canceled booking that gets refunded. So for now, I'd rather fewer bookings with little to no chance of cancellation over a full calendar with all of those reservations being canceled at the last minute. If you want to know more about Airbnb's cancellation policy, stay tuned. I'll be doing a video on that very soon. Staying safe during COVID-19 is on everyone's mind these days. It's having a huge impact on our hosting businesses and creating lots of worry and stress about maintaining our businesses. But there are concrete actions that you can take right now to minimize this impact. The first thing you can do is be more aggressive with your pricing and try to secure additional bookings. You can do this by proving to your guests that you're taking the steps necessary to sanitize and minimize the spread of germs. Be sure to have enough cleaning supplies to honor this promise. Communicate this promise by using the index card that outlines what additional sanitization efforts you've been doing to keep them safe. Upload a picture of this card to your listing page to stand out from your competition. You can download the card template from my website. The link is in the description below. You also want to make sure that you keep yourself safe by wearing gloves during your turnovers and properly washing your hands afterwards. Do what you can to refund your guests, because if they're canceling their travel, they're doing their part to minimize the spread of infection by canceling their non-essential travel. Finally, Airbnb has taken steps to alleviate the impact on guests. Although I'm not certain that relaxing your cancellation policy is the best option right now. I hope that after watching this video, you've taken away some good, concrete action items that you can take right now. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and rate it 5 stars if you're asked. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Click subscribe and then click on the notification bell so that you'll get a notification when I upload a new video. I'll be uploading a new video very soon, and it's probably going to be on Airbnb's cancellation policies unless something more urgent comes up. So until then, thanks again for watching, and bye for now.